Now, as we probably know already, the United States of America is shutting down on foreign aid, and it is going to affect Africa, it is going to affect Asia, all the way to Ukraine. I mean, since taking office, Donald Trump hasn't taken a breath. I mean, the man has done a lot. I can picture him right now just sitting in his office, just scribbling, signing away those executive orders. And he's done a lot. And he's been in charge for like 5 minutes. So yeah, the world is changing. The world is changing. And naturally, a lot of people are concerned because, I mean, things are unpredictable nowadays because some of the aid, the foreign aid that Trump has put a hold on or has shut down affects programs in Africa. So I understand the concern. It is concerning. However, I want to look at this in a different way. I want to look at it. I mean, the way I look at it, this is me reacting to what is unfolding before us. My opinion is that this could actually turn out to be a blessing in disguise for Africa. I'm not trying to downplay the far-reaching consequences or the implications of what Donald Trump has done. You know, I'm not downplaying that at all. But what I'm saying is, instead of us freaking out, why don't we look at it from another angle? Why don't we try to seize this opportunity? So in this video, I want to explore why this is like a real opportunity for Africa to step up its game. And I'm going to explore it from the perspective of someone who lives abroad, as an African who lives in the diaspora. I want to explore how you and me can step up and play a pivotal role in redefining our future as Africans. If you live abroad, you're an African, then now is the time. I mean, according to my opinion, like I said, this could be exactly what we need. Donald Trump may actually have done us a huge favor. This is how I look at it. First of all, let us look at the problem. We know that for decades, Africa has relied on foreign aid. But what it has done is created a cycle of dependency. I'm not saying that foreign aid hasn't done some good in Africa. It has, because it has helped our people in creating jobs, in starting programs in Africa. So there is that. However, it has also created this cycle of dependency on outsiders. Africa relies a lot on outside help. Not just Africa, I mean other countries as well, but in this video I'm focusing on Africa. And now that Donald Trump has withdrawn foreign aid or put a pause on some of the foreign aid, many fear that it is going to result in, you know, economic collapse. And I understand why that is, and I appreciate, because the withdrawal of foreign aid is going to affect a lot of programs in Africa. Many people are going to lose their jobs. I understand that some companies already have put things on hold and people don't know what the future is going to look like. So I understand the worry, I get it. But I'm saying, what if this is the opportunity we didn't know we actually need as Africans, especially if you live abroad? This could be the time to rethink everything, like to really step up our game and play a pivotal role. But you might be thinking, what are you talking about? We already play a role. We send remittances back home. We helped our loved ones back home. What are you talking about? What more can we do? I get that, because yes, we do a lot, but I'm thinking beyond those remittances. I mean, let us be honest. Every year, Africans send billions and billions of dollars back to Africa in terms of remittances. But how much of that money is really building Africa's future? How much of that money? Doesn't that money go towards daily expenses, buying food, clothes, that sort of thing? Most of that money, or I might say, how much of that money is going towards investments, creating jobs? How much of that money? I'm talking in terms of, you know, proportion. Because as someone who lives in the diaspora, working hard, sending money home to help your loved ones, which is a good thing. Have you ever stopped to think what is going to happen when you're gone? If you're just sending money for food, clothes, that sort of thing, and not investing, have you ever stopped to think what will happen if everyone living abroad, everyone who sends money home, is no longer here? What is going to happen? Because Africa still relies heavily on those remittances. This is why I'm saying now could be the perfect time to rethink our strategies, to think beyond just sending remittances. Because imagine if we all pooled our resources to fund African startups, back home in Zimbabwe, in Nigeria, Kenya, and so on. If we all came together and put our resources together, put our skills, our knowledge, whatever it is that we bring to the table, if we put those resources and start funding our startup, our programs back home, if we all bought shares, if we invest in companies that are creating opportunities, that are creating solutions for our people, imagine what would happen. Wouldn't that be a real solution? Imagine if we all did that. I know this is already happening on some level, but the fact that we are still struggling as Africans, the fact that we are still relying on outsiders, and the fact that we are now freaking out because of this situation that Donald Trump has created, that in itself shows that we are not doing nearly enough. Not yet. So this is where I'm coming from with this. This is why I'm saying this could be the perfect opportunity for Africa to step up. Now, there's one thing that concerns me when I'm talking about Africans coming together. What concerns me is unity. Generally speaking, I mean, this is how I see things. I don't feel that we are united. And I'm saying, now that we see that the world is changing, yes, the world is changing, things are shifting. And I'm saying that unless we come together as Africans, unless we unite, unless we set aside some of those divisions that we like to create among ourselves, unless we put a stop to that, we are not going anywhere as a people. Because when it's all said and done, we are fighting for the same thing. We want our continent to prosper. We want to be self-reliant. We want to be able to do our own things. We want to get to a stage where we stop running from our countries because we don't see a future, because there are no jobs, because we are desperate. We want to get to a stage where if we are going to relocate, if we are going to move abroad, for whatever reason, we want that to be a choice. This is my dream for Africa. I mean, look at other communities. I live here in the UK, and I look at other communities, how united they are. I look at the Indian community, for example, the Chinese. Other communities are united. They come together, and especially when I'm talking about the Indian community, or let me say the Asian community even, what I've noticed about that community is that they come together. They pool their resources together and create opportunities for one another. I'll give you a good example. If you live in the UK and you are renting, chances are that your landlord comes from the Asian community or the Indian community. Here's another good example. If you live here in the UK, chances are that you buy from an Asian shop, corner shop that is. I mean, yeah, these people, and they are united as well. Why can't we do that as Africans? Why are we not united? I've made a video talking about how Black communities don't support one another when it comes to businesses. And I've given reasons why that is. And one of those reasons is to do with our attitude. Another reason is to do with the fact that we are not united. We don't like one another. Why? I don't get it. Can't we see that we are losing? We are the ones who are losing at the end of the day. We are losing. Everywhere we go, we are the ones at the bottom of the food chain. That is not right. It is time to put a stop to it. Now more than ever, we need to be united. Let us put unity at the forefront. And I'll end this video by saying this. If you're in the UK and you're an African, ask yourself this. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? What do you want these years of living abroad, overcoming these struggles that we're always talking about, our challenges? Do you really want these years to amount to nothing? What do you want your legacy to be? Do you want that legacy to just be about sending money home? Is that what we want? I mean, I think the reason why I'm asking these questions, or why I think the way I do right now or these days, is because when you reach a certain age, you start to look at life differently. You might say that you start to have this sense of urgency because you know that time is ticking along, and you're wondering, or you're asking yourself, don't I want to leave a mark on this earth? Because here's the thing, we all want to leave a legacy behind, and it doesn't have to be major. I mean, you can start small, because I understand that we have different circumstances, we have different resources, and our skills are different as well. Not all of us are capable of doing the same things. But what I'm saying is we can do our part on those different levels, like go beyond what we've been doing so far. And I'm talking about going beyond just sending money for groceries, for transport, for clothes. But I'm talking about doing something to build Africa, because it has come to that. Now that the world is changing, now is the perfect time for Africa to rise up, to regain its dignity. Africa doesn't need pity, it needs action. Africa needs its people. Africa's problems, Africa's solutions. Instead of relying on other people, looking to foreign countries for help, why not look within? Why not look at our resources? I mean, we already know that Africa is rich already. The world relies on Africa. Without Africa, the world struggles. I mean, this is a fact. I don't know what to think about everything that I've said. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.